Thank you so much for joining me on Good News Friday. And it was a good news day. Tesla outperformed the markets today and was right in line with the average Mag 7 stock, and those were generally up. Stocks might be a little paranoid right now with next week's triple threats on Tuesday and Wednesday. If we can survive the PPI, the CPI, and the FED, then the Santa Claus rally could be in place. That's true, especially if the Fed gives us even slightly dovish indications. So this is Randy Kirk. Please hit like and subscribe and notify. You want to be notified. Tomorrow morning is my favorite show of the month. I mean, I really mean it. Cathie Wood is on tonight. Later, I'll be starting my Cathie Wood watch because she comes on at all different times on this Friday. But once I go through that, take copious notes, and then Larry takes copious notes too and puts together a slideshow, and then we come back together tomorrow morning and somewhere around 9 o'clock California time, maybe at 9:30 at the latest, that video will go up where Larry and I go through all of the stuff that Cathie talked about and give our 15 cents worth, and so you don't want to miss it. The other thing is you did miss earlier today, and this is very important. I want you to listen to me. You were extremely excited to learn all about the 48-volt system the other day from Larry. But today, apparently, you weren't that interested in quantum computing. And yet, this was a very good show with Brian Wang. You want to go back and take a look at that. I'll put the card later. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it at the end of this show because you really do want to go back and check it out. All right. So, and then, of course, you recognize this is, it's getting very, very close to Christmas. You need to place your orders. The information is down below in the description. All right. Gary Black echoed my statement from this morning that the Bernstein best short story had zero news in the analysis. There was nothing new at all. This was exactly where Tony's numbers had been. He's been at 150 for a very long time. He's been completely wrong. He's been a bear for all time. He's never been right on Tesla. And so I think the market blew him off. I think they blew him off yesterday. I think they blew him off today. Could have had a dampening effect, but I don't know. I'm not even sure it had that. Then Sawyer Merritt, replying to Gary Black, said that Tesla is up 155% since Tony's underperform rating originally came out in July of 2020. And then Sawyer Merritt went on to say, wow, Tesla's Giga Shanghai factory is now at annualized production rate of 1.1 million vehicles, a new all-time high. And this is Roland Percher had said that Giga Shanghai set a new production record of 90,802 Model Ys and 3s in November. How much higher can they go? maybe we can get it to 95,000 or something, but 1.1 million is kind of the number that people have been saying is the max. But with the new Model 3 refresh, the Model 3 Plus, maybe it's possible that they can do even more out of that factory than 1.1 million. And now we're pretty darn sure they're going to be expanding that factory in addition. Now, from Kelley Blue Book today, they announced now listen to this. I told you there's a lot of good news. Through the third quarter, Experian reports 3% of all newly registered vehicles were F-150 trucks. About 2.5% were Model Y electric SUVs. Toyota's RAV4 took the third spot, also scoring 2.5%, but narrowly missing the Tesla number, putting the Tesla Model Y as the second biggest selling vehicle in the United States, only now having to pass the Ford 150 in order to become the best-selling vehicle in the United States. Well, anything is possible. Maybe that'll be reported in another month or two. It could happen, could easily happen. Plenty of production available in Austin to make that happen. In fact, speaking of that, the Jeff Lutz, co-host of the Wednesday night show, said that another basic thought: if the U.S. goes to 12% EV adoption next year, that would be based on 16 million vehicles. that would mean there need to be 1.9 million EVs who, besides Tesla, has the capacity to grow with that adoption curve. The others stop putting in their capex. They stop building out. They said they're going to slow down. They're not going to work on it for now. They're not going to try to go. They're not going to try to do what they could potentially do. So they're not going to have a bunch of vehicles to sell next year if we have this continued curve, and we will have this continued curve. So the increase is going to have to come from Tesla. That is going to come, I think, from both Model Ys and the new Cybertruck. But we might also have the Model 3 refresh pretty soon, and that could become a contributor as well. Anyway, we just heard from Elon on X saying that, yeah, the Christmas goodies that came out in the last refresh, the last over-the-air update, were not that great. I don't know if it's even out yet, but the one that's coming. And he says he'll do better, that they're going to come out with a really good one. So I don't know what's coming, but we'll look forward to what Elon is going to do on that additional update. Okay, let's go on now to the general market. We have oil up a bit today. I'm still expecting a trading pattern between $67 and $74. I don't think it'll go below 67. I don't think it'll go above 74. There are no fundamental reasons for the stock to trade outside that range. But there's always a but. Saudi Arabia could do one of two things. They can flood the market. They have done that before. They can say, you know what? We're going to crank it up 3 million barrels a day, and we're going to crush the price in the United States. We're going to get it down to $35 a barrel or something like that. And if they do that, of course, it means that some of the shale guys and some of the deep water guys will not be able to make money, and they will then slow down production because it makes no sense to produce at those levels. And then the Saudis will drop their production. So it's a game to try to get the price back up there in the 90s where they'd like to see it. I don't think that's going to happen. Moreover, I don't think they're going to be able to convince any of their buddies over there in OPEC and OPEC Plus. I don't think they're going to be able to convince any of them to contribute more to reducing the totals now in order to get the price up. So I think we're done with that. Both of those, I don't think either one of those things are going to happen. Maybe we'll start to see some kind of a change in the spring when we get closer to the driving period, but there will be another 3 or 4 million EVs on the road worldwide by that time, and that'll cut the usage of oil and more solar and more everything else that's affecting. So anyway, I think the ship has sailed on oil for now, and we're going to be in that range for a while. And as I mentioned this morning, I think that's true for all of the non-food commodities. I think we've bottomed out on the average on the basket, and I think that'll be true for 6 months or so. And we'll see a very thin trading range for the commodities until we get through the first half of the year and into maybe a more robust economy in the second half. All right. Bonds, they're back around 4.25. I'm sorry, 4.4. I wrote it down wrong. They're back to around 4.425 after a 10 on the 10-year, after going up 10 basis points a day. So, but like oil, I'm continuing my call that it's going to stay in a range of 4.11 to about 4.4. That's going to be the new range. And then the more important call is I think there'll be the short-term ones are going to have a rally. I know I've been saying that for a couple of days, but I want you to remember when I'm right again, okay? And I'll remember if I'm wrong. I'll be the one to say it. You know what? I don't know what's going on with those short-term bonds, but the rally never happened. But I think within the next 30 days, we'll see a rally. Maybe it'll be 60 days because I sometimes am early, but I just don't think traders are going to look at that 5.5% on the 2-month and 5% on the, just right around 5%, under 5% on the 2-year, and in between on the rest, and say that they don't want to get a piece of that. I just don't see how long that can hold up. All right. We could see a lot of position trading. We're getting end of the year, so people are selling their losses and whatnot, and trying to position themselves for their year-end portfolios and whatnot. And so this would be the next 3 days would be a great time for that because everybody's going to be worried about the CPI on Tuesday, the PPI on Wednesday, and then the Fed decision on Wednesday, plus the statement from Fed Chairman Powell. Only those who are pretty sure they know what to expect from this array of news that's coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday are likely to be super aggressive during the next few days. So I could see trading being fairly light and also fairly flat until we get through that period. On the other side of that time, however, on Thursday morning, if everything has worked out well, or even on Tuesday and Wednesday, when we see the CPI reports in the morning and the PPI reports on Wednesday morning, if those are strong, if those are, are good, if those are positive, maybe the market will start on the Santa Claus rally even before the Fed speaks. But I think it might wait until we hear from Powell as to whether there's any slight dovishness, especially if the PPI and CPI look good. All right. I think Tesla will continue its upward march. The fundamentals are all there. You heard it at the top of the episode. So the fundamentals are good. The technicals are fine. There's only like a 265. There's a little bit of a maybe, and then maybe 275. There's another maybe, but there's really nothing between now and 230 that would stop the stock from going up with good fundamentals and a strong macro. So it depends on the strong macro if we're going to get to my 300 by the end of the year. By the way, that is a soft estimate. That's not like my all-time high at the end of January. That is I've got, I have a flag in the ground on that one. The 230 by the end of the year, that's kind of a soft estimate. Lots of stuff happens at the end of the year with portfolio fixing and whatnot. So that's what I'm looking at for the next few days. As I mentioned, Tesla was up during the main part of the day. It's down a teeny tiny bit, 0.13% in the after hours. At 4 o'clock California time, so 50 minutes before the close of after hours trading. Of course, pre-market, nothing on Friday night. That doesn't happen until Sunday night when I give you my regular Monday morning show on Sunday night. All right, let me talk about that Brian Wang video that we did earlier today. Look, quantum computing is coming. I don't understand. Well, I understand a lot more about it than I did yesterday. Quantum computing is coming. He just attended a 3-day conference on it, and it's coming. It's probably 2 to 5 years out before it's really going to have a big impact, but this is the time to start learning about it. I know it's really complex and complicated, and but so were transistors once upon a time. But they're no longer complicated, and we all get it now. So if you are interested in the future, if you're interested in the impact that quantum is going to have on Tesla, it's a 25-minute video or something, and Brian explains it to me, and then I feed it back to him to make sure I get it right. And so hopefully, I believe, based on my sense of how it went, I feel like it was understandable, and it was something you could really get your arms around and get a clue as to what is going to be coming with this quantum computing. He pointed out in the video that $55 billion has been spent by Microsoft and IBM. All these major companies are putting billions of dollars into quantum. This is not something that might happen 100 years from now or 50 years from now or 10 years from now. This is coming now. I highly recommend it. There's the card. Go back and take a look at it. And then tomorrow morning, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. You're going to want to be here tomorrow morning with Larry and me as we go through what Cathie Wood had to say tonight and add our analysis to what Cathie's analysis is of the current situation in general, in the economic macro, how that's affecting the stock market, et cetera. Always. Again, it's my favorite show of the month. I like it the best. All right, that's all one last thing. You got another minute? Okay. 25 for 1, 45 for 2, 65 for 3. Send the money to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all in lower cap letters. Add $20 if you're shipping it outside the country, outside the United States. And then tell me whether you want camo or whether you want the stainless look. Okay. And and you want this and you need to buy it now. You're running out of time. It is right now it's the 8th. Can you believe it? 17 days until Christmas. Figure 5 days for shipping. There you go. It's time to order it. Get it now. Also, if you buy 10, it's $21 a piece, $210. And if you want to buy 20, it drops all the way down to $20 a piece. If you join Patreon, you get on the $10 level, you get one for free. All that information is in the description. And you know what? It has been great talking to you.